Hello and welcome to Teleislas News with the most important news of the day.
As of today, the queen conch close season begins. This restriction will last until October 31st of the current year in the department.
The Secretariat of Agriculture and Fisheries, with the Resolution 00179 of 1995, seeks to contribute to the conservation of the species and ensure its sustainability through this control that will last 4 months.
The importance of closed season is to conserve this species that has declined for many years. Then through research, we have seen that we have to protect it, as it is our food sovereignty. So we have to protect and exercise control and surveillance of all these species.
The head of the Agricultural Office also stated that they have been carrying out controls since days prior to the beginning of the closing season.
We have been doing research for 15 years before establishing the controls to verify how many queen conch is in each commercial establishment, and then proceed to control and monitor in all areas where we do fishing.
The invitation is that artisanal fishermen, industrialists, vendors, restaurants, community, and tourists refrain from catching, marketing, buying, and/or consuming queen conch during this period because it's a key species for the balance of the ecosystem.
Today, the hurricane season officially begins and currently many affected by Iota continue damnified and without knowing what is waiting for them before the arrival of the forecasted rains and storms. The government asks to follow the indications.
Taking into account that the annual hurricane season started today, the authorities are joining efforts to prevent another disaster. However, many people continue to be victims and others have not been instructed on how to prepare for another emergency. This is what some of them have to say about it.
Information mostly because I didn't know that today was the beginning of the hurricane season, so that everyone understands the problems and the government should implement protocols to prevent disasters on the island. If I am prepared at home, I am even vaccinated too. At home we have prepared ourselves, but we need that help from the government, that information on how one should prepare oneself from the government entities.
According to the DMAR, in the last few days, there has been an increase in the thermal sensation due to the humidity in the atmosphere, and they also indicate that the height of the swell will increase. On the other hand, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, announced the cyclones that have already been named, including Storm Anna, which did not affect the archipelago.
And in other news, the departmental government made public the decree modifying the curfew. From today, the measure will start from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. Commercial establishments will be able to develop their activities until 8 p.m. From 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., the activity must be carried out under the modality of home delivery. Restaurants, pizza shops, bakeries, and similar establishments will be open until 10 p.m. It is also important to mention that the ID card schedule measure for the entrance to establishments continues.
And according to the daily report from the National Institute of Health, today 4 people died from COVID-19 on the island.
The archipelago totals 101 deaths from COVID-19. 4 people died from the coronavirus today on the island. 3 men of 71, 75, and 83 years old, and a woman of 59 years. This was reported by the National Institute of Health in its daily report. Likewise, 70 new infections are added to the department, giving a total of 263 active cases, of which the location by sector, age range, and health status is unknown so far. The total number of positive cases has been 5,512 until yesterday, and 5,215 have been recovered according to the local report. In total, 28,050 tests have been performed.
And the Secretariat of Health of the department delivered an assessment on how the vaccination is progressing on the island against measles and rubella.
Since last May, vaccination against measles and rubella began in the department for children between 1 and 11 years old from the island. This session of inoculation has 21 vaccination points in the different educational institutions. The Secretariat of Health indicates that currently there is a low attendance to these sessions.
The vaccination of children under 10 years old. We are in a campaign of a booster dose of measles and rubella. There we have very low coverage. We know that not all institutions have the in-person class for this population group, but we want to invite all parents. It is very important that all children have this additional vaccine, this additional dose of measles and rubella.
Vaccination against measles and rubella will be carried out in different educational institutions. This through the country release by the Secretariat of Health. From 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. this season is intended to vaccinate 9,416 children.
And the local government will conduct next week an entrepreneurship fair which seeks to highlight the work of artisans in the department.
With the aim that local entrepreneurs can market their products, the government will conduct next June 10 and 12 an entrepreneurship fair that will feature the exhibition of products made by woods, glass, sewing, jewelry, and gastronomic samples.
From the Office of Social Development and the Office of Women and Gender, we are cordially inviting you all to be with us the 11th and the 12th of this month at Coco Plum Hotel in San Luis from 9 till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We will have 6 of our ladies giving us they sale in handcraft and in dessert in Islanda's typical gastronomic.
The purpose of the fair is to highlight the enterprises that seek to rescue the tradition and culture of the department.
Today we are here because we are going to participate in the gastronomy of the island, presenting our sweet to the different people them who come around to buy, so we can able to share with them and make them know how much it is important to know that San Andres also have nice things that we can share and we can able to enjoy it of the best. I invite you all to be with us on the 11th to the 12th of this month to come at the Coco Plum Hotel to share this moment with us and that you will be able to enjoy of the best.
The entrepreneurship fair will be held on June 11 and 12 from 9 to 4 in the afternoon at the Coco Plum Hotel.
This afternoon, the superintendents in the company of the Vice Minister of Water, the Governor, and the Mayor carried out the takeover of the P&K company that managed the aqueduct, sewage, and sanitation services in the municipality.
The repeated deficiencies in water, sanitation, and sewage services and the deepening of these problems after the hurricane were the reasons for the superintendents to take possession of the company P&K that managed these services in the municipality. The company did not have the structural or financial capacity to guarantee the provision of these services. This is what the superintendent said.
Once these deficiencies in the provision of public water, sewage, and sanitation services became more serious, we took the decision to take possession of the company in order to make this be a part of the integral reconstruction that is taking place in Old Providence.
The takeover guarantees state resources for the operation of an investment of 150,000 million pesos over the next 3 years. According to the local officials, the problems in public services are being evaluated since 2011.
For years, we have been trying to have optimal public services here in the municipality. The inconveniences in terms of public services, many of them are not post-IOTA. Not being able to supply water to all sectors is not a post-IOTA problem.
La vida útil del Blue Lizard.
The Blue Lizard here in Old Providence is a sanitary landfill that had a useful life until 2011. From then on, it has not had an environmental license from the Environmental Corporation to be able to conduct the leachate and carry out the whole operation.
For its part, Empresas Públicas de Medellín says that they are grateful for the trust given to them by the government.
What we want is to improve the quality, continuity, and efficiency in the provision of these services for the benefit of the community, to generate trust so that the community begins to believe in the aqueduct service, so that they begin to believe in the sanitation services.
It is hoped that these historic changes in the management of the municipality's public service can contribute to improve the quality of life of the islanders.
And as part of her efforts as social manager, the First Lady recently delivered technical aids for 3 people with disabilities in the municipality.
The social manager of the municipality has been taking actions with private companies who have expressed their willingness to help people with disabilities in Old Providence and Catalina. Thus, in recent days, 3 wheelchairs and a walker were delivered to vulnerable people in the municipality.
En esta ocasión nos donaron 3 sillas de ruedas.
On this occasion, we were given 3 wheelchairs that we wanted to donate after the hurricane because we had already made other deliveries in previous months. He's a businessman who has been very interested in supporting us in this noble cause.
People who needed the wheelchair to attend medical appointment outside of the island or to be able to move around in Old Providence were benefited by this effort.
Estuvimos visitando una familia en San Felipe.
We visited a family in Lazy Hill. We went to Bailey and we delivered another one in the Old Town sector. These are people who were very grateful because it was a felt need and one that we hope to be able to continue providing for.
The First Lady concluded by saying that the intention of the businessmen is to keep contributing for the benefit of people with disabilities in the municipality.
Ponte al día con tu tecnomecánica, ten presente la fecha de vencimiento de este. Haciéndolo proteges tu vida y la de los demás. En la vía Abraza la Vida, una campaña de la Agencia Nacional de Seguridad Vial y el Ministerio de Transporte. Now we continue with Victor Fusalva now the sport news of our archipelago.
Hello, here are the best sports of the islands. The final of the Colombian Professional Football Tournament could be taking place here at the Erwin O'Neill Football Stadium in San Andres. The Colombian Football Federation is making arrangements for the remaining matches of the Professional Football League to be held in San Andres. Because in the different cities of Colombia, they cannot be held due to the protests and the public order situation. The pending matches to be played in the quarterfinals will be between Cali and Tolima to define one of the finalists that will be playing against La Equidad. And the other match will be the one between Junior and Millonarios.
Probablemente se pueden jugar.
The information is circulating that probably some professional soccer games can be played in the department. This is simply a preliminary visit where they came to make an inspection to the stadium. We have to wait to see what the mayor defines after this visit. Obviously, after that, we will have to talk to the governor to see what their opinion is regarding what you already know.
Considering the above, some hoteliers expressed their satisfaction since it will be a gain for the commerce.
Activaría no solamente el turismo en la isla.
It would activate not only the tourism of the island, which is the sector most affected by the whole issue of the pandemic, but also the small merchants, restaurants, mule rentals, and also the hoteliers. It seems to me that it would be extraordinary for San Andres.
Es muy positivo de que el fútbol profesional.
It is a very positive news that the Professional Soccer League, the Mayor, would have looked to the island of San Andres to be the host of the finals of Colombian soccer, because it shows that with the stay of the Real San Andres here for almost a year and a half, there was a good influx of public. We showed that if we can have a professional team with these teams coming and hosting a final tournament.
This news house will be pending of what is achieved in this management and the pros and the cons that these meetings will have in the island of San Andres. Yoga is a lifestyle that heals, cures, and strengthens the body and the mind, which interests athletes and women of San Andres Island. In ancient times, yoga was an activity that was practiced only by men. Today, in our insular department, many athletes, and especially women, are becoming more and more inclined to practice this discipline, are inclined to devote much more importance to the practice of yoga in San Andres. This is what this is what teacher Pilar Angarita told us.
The truth is that it is super important. In ancient times, nothing but men practiced yoga. Only nowadays, we women practice yoga. They did not give us permission to do yoga. When it was born, it was only men. It is a very important discipline. It is a way of life. It is a way to communicate with ourselves, to see ourselves with the rest of humanity. It is the only way to achieve peace, which we long for so much in our country. The queen posture or headstand is a posture that is very important because it helps us. It is the counter posture of standing all day. We take the blood to the brain in an easier way so that the heart does not work so hard. It is very important to oxygenate the brain for the memory to be able to reason better. The nervous connections are made easier with a good blood irrigation. It is a posture that is much more about knowing how to do it than having strength to do it.